ain't panicked. I've been here before. Same as when I got popped on 4th Street. Don't take me to no hospital, please. Fucking emergency rooms don't save nobody. Some bitches always pop you at midnight when all they got is a Chinese intern with a dull spoon.
That's racist!
Oh, look at these suckers.
What's Not Quite Right with Carlito's Way? A production in QR.
You dancing with me or you dancing with him?
Sandra Santiago, who played Detective Gina Calabresi on the very popular 80s cop show Miami Vice, is uncredited in this movie, even though she's featured with lines.
Because you can dance with him if you wanna. Come on.
I know Dave.
To give a contrast, John Leguizamo's girlfriend at the time played his girlfriend in the movie. You just see her barely, and she's credited. Yeah, I know, I'm starting off with a nitpick, but still.
I'm reloaded! Okay? Come on in here, motherfuckers!
Trivia. The film is adapted from the novel After Hours by Edwin Torres. But Martin Scorsese made a movie with that title in 1985. So De Palma, wanting to avoid confusion with that film, used the title from Torres' first novel, a prequel story about an up-and-coming gangster, Carlito Briganti. That book was eventually made into a movie called Carlito's Way, Rise to Power.
You think you're big time? You're gonna fucking die big time! You ready? Here come the pain!
Where have I seen that name before? I know. Go back a few seconds. Stop. Go to 2 screens and bring up Scarface, the diner scene. Sync and run. Observation. The name of the club in this film is the same as the name of the diner in Scarface. There's even the same slow dolly shot. Both films were directed by Brian De Palma. Resume.
Like Sasso.
Charlie, my friend, Charlie Brigante, how you doing?
Hey, Sasso.
No, no more Sasso. Now everybody call me Ron.
Ron.
Ron from Reynaldo.
Okay, Ron, let's get to the point.
Another not quite right. Ron, is played by Jorge Porcel, who was an Argentinian comedy actor who didn't speak English and had to learn his lines phonetically. What's in QR is, if you look at Pacino in the mirror, you can see his lips moving like he's coaching him through the scene. Pacino dropped his character for a moment.
25 will quiet down for now, and you will come in for a quarter of my end.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 25,000 cash tomorrow. I'm gonna come in for half your end.
What are you trying to do to me?
What I'm trying to do, Ron, is save your ass.
My yes?
That's right, because it's either Fat Anthony or Schools you owe the money to, right? Either way, you're gonna end up in the trunk of a car somewhere on the Belt Parkway before long, maybe weeks before they find you. Like Dee Dee, remember? They open her up. That's some kind of stink you're gonna make. Ooh, what's that smell? Sasso, man. That's Sasso. Used to be Ron.
Okay, what time tomorrow?
I'm sorry, Mr. Black. I got no problem, no problem. See, Fat Man Sasso, they owes me some money, and he's a little slow in paying me, so I'm just working off for him, you know? We haven't formally introduced, you know. My name is Benny Blanco from the Bronx.
You know me?
Yeah, I know you, man. You Carlito, Brigante, motherfucker to the max. That's who you are.
Well,
Trivia. John Leguizamo turned down the part of Benny Blanco a number of times. He finally took the role after Brian De Palma allowed the actor to improvise many of his lines.
Okay, man. It's cool, it's groovy. Hey, yo, what's the matter with you? Pay the fucking goddamn check, bitch.
to the waiter.
To the waiter, you fucking dumb fuck. Get it.
This scene may be regarded as an NQR. Carlito watches Gail in a dance class while standing in the pouring rain, but when we cut to the next shot, he's completely dry.
I couldn't figure it out.
know you, lady.
Hey, buzz off.
Okay, let's do a quick lesson on basic film editing. Open the construct. In editing, transitions, going from one shot to the next, or one scene to the next, subtly indicate some kind of passage to the viewer. Cuts generally can mean things happening in a very short period of time, like seconds or minutes. Fades and dissolves indicate a longer period of time, hours, days, months, years. Seeing Carlito soaking wet in one scene and completely dry in the next can be a bit jarring to the viewer because we know that if you're that wet, it'll take some time before your clothes dry off enough to look like this.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Hey, I know you, lady.
So these sequence of shots could have probably been done conventionally with a short fade to black, then come into the next scene like this.
Figure it out. I couldn't get that thing to save my life. Bye, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Hey, I know you, lady.
That would visually and subconsciously indicate to the viewer some kind of time passage that would justify why Carlito is completely dry. Okay, flip it back and go from there. I use the term generally because not all of the rules are concrete. Filmmaking is very similar to making music. Once you understand how the structure of music works, or movies, then you can play with the rules and even break them if you know why you're breaking them. It's the difference between making art and just bumblefucking around, and most people can pick up on the difference, even if they don't fully understand why something feels off to them. But De Palma is a brilliant filmmaker, and purposefully edited the film that way. Instead of doing it visually, he uses the music to transition the scene. Listen to how the music swells, then softens. That's the transition. You got it, even though you didn't see it. Now that's genius.
Hey, I know you, lady.
Hey, buzz off.
Yeah, sure. You used to go out.
Close the construct and let's continue.
Good-looking guy.
Another NQR? Kleinfeld visits the Rikers Island prison barge. What's not quite right here is, remember, the story is set in the mid-70s. The New York City Department of Corrections didn't start using prison barges until 1988, and that particular building he's going into didn't become operational until 1992. What else is not quite right? Like I said, this story takes place in 1975, but a number of songs played in the movie were released after 1975, in some cases years after.
Mr. Brigante, it's the second time you turned me down for a drink, man. Well, you don't like my champagne?
Hey, could be.
I don't know, maybe it's a misfucking understanding here. I don't know, man. Maybe you don't remember me. My name is Benny
Maybe I
Blanco.
don't give a shit. Maybe I don't remember the last time I blew my nose either. Who the fuck are you? I should remember you. Huh? What, you think you like me? You ain't like me, motherfucker. You a punk. I've been with made people. Connected people. Who you been with? Chain snatching, jive ass, Maricon motherfuckers. Why don't you get lost? Go ahead, snatch your purse. Come on, take a fucking walk.
No, I think the only problem here is that Steffi doesn't know what she
Well, take it in, for Christ's sake. We're falling out of position.
Kid Frank, we're gonna stand you up and say good.
This is Nick Vision donor William Lambert. And what's not quite right with Carlito's way? Frankie is supposed to be unconscious, but you can see the stuntman moving his feet when they move him in position to get thrown off the boat.
A historical not quite right. In the scene where the mobsters are chasing Carlito on the train, we see some New York City police recruits board the same car. This isn't possible because New York City had a hiring freeze in 1975, according to the New York Times article on that issue. From July 1975 until November 1979, no police officers were hired or trained in the city of New York. No classes were held at the police academy. Earlier in the movie, Carlito establishes the time period.
So here's me back on the street. Third Sunday in August, Old Timers Day in the barrio.
And the events on the subway chase is weeks after that, so there's no way New York City police recruits were walking onto that platform at that time. Also, the uniforms they were wearing weren't worn by police recruits until the late 80s. Yes, I geeked out that much. Another not quite right? Carlito apparently booked an Amtrak train to Miami. However, in the mid-70s, Amtrak trains that left from Grand Central Station were going north to Albany and continuing west to Buffalo and Chicago. If Carlito wanted to take a train to the south, he would have needed to be at New York's Penn Station instead.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. Last call, track 19. The 11:30 Amtrak Silver Star, bound for Tampa and Miami. All aboard.
Freeze. Carlito uses a Beretta 92F. This Beretta model is anachronistic as the film takes place in 1975, and the 92F wasn't produced until the 80s. That gun has a 15-round magazine. Continue. And how long is this escalator? Because Carlito shoots 4 people in what feels like forever. Dude hops across and runs down the steps, and Carlito is still in the middle section of the escalator. Jeez, that took a long time. Observation. This is the second movie where Al Pacino plays a Latino gangster who gets killed in the end by someone he didn't see coming. Sync up Scarface and Carlito's Way. Bring up 2 screens.
Hey, remember me? Benny Blanco from the Bronx?
Back to the movie. And the last not quite right? As they're carting Carlito away on the stretcher, the IV connected to his hand is hooked up wrong. Freeze there. Flip it and zoom in a bit. This part is supposed to be spiked into the bag, not taped to his hand. Okay, flip it back and go from there.
Court of Appeals decision. Now devolve upon me the painful duty of unleashing upon society a reputed assassin. The prisoner's discharge. Call the next case.
You Carlito Brigante, man. You a legend.
He's one of us. Puts money in everybody's pocket big time.
He was big.
Just a tough guy.
He just got out of Lewisburg, man.
Carlito's Way received a tepid response from critics and viewers when it premiered in 1993. While performances by Sean Penn and Penelope Ann Miller were recognized with Golden Globe Award nominations, the film wouldn't really be embraced until years later. A character study of a man who wants to be better than he is, Al Pacino does his customary scene chewing and embodies a compelling character in Puerto Rican gangster Carlito Brigante, even if he does slip into a southern drawl from Scent of a Woman from time to time. Brian De Palma's trademark camera work with its swoops, dolly shots, and pans puts us squarely in the mid-70s era of cocaine, fast sex, and disco glitz. And the director keeps the suspense building as we watch our protagonist try to stay one step ahead of the life and bad choices he's desperately trying to leave behind. At this point, I've come to the conclusion that Carlito's Way was the bookend project to Scarface for De Palma and Al Pacino. Today, Carlito's Way has an approval rating of 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, and is seen a cut above the other gangster films of its time.
You think you're big time? You're gonna die big time!
If you agree with this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if I missed an observation, let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to support the channel and videos, feel free to donate through PayPal or Cash App. And don't forget to pick up some cool NQR gear. All the links are listed in the description below. And thanks for watching.